So here we are at Sports ORM. This is, whoops, that's part 2. Let's get to part 1. Try to make this a little bit bigger. So the crux of this assignment is that you are going to either git clone this project that exists already, or you can simply download it. So it has a link here. If you were to go, if you guys don't yet have Git, you should be able to go to this address and see you can clone or download it. So if you want to just download it, you can download the zip there, and then of course you'd extract it once you get it on your local computer. So let me close out of this guy. So essentially what we're going to do is, this assignment is all queries. So we're not really playing with the views so much. The views are actually already built up for us. We're just figuring out, how do we get particular pieces of data? Okay, how do we structure those queries? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of these things that we're trying to do. And then inside inside our Sports ORM, I'm going to paste this stuff in so that we have it handy and we can just go through these guys one by one. So once you download the project, you'll see that it's got some different folders in it. So we've got our apps folder, which we've seen before. And then within that, we have this leagues folder, which is the app that's going to be for what we're querying in. Okay. So inside that leagues app, we also have our views.py, which you guys are going to get pretty familiar with if you're not doing Django yet. But basically, we just have an index view, and this is where we're pulling all the leagues right now, all the teams, and all the players. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding specific things that we want, like specific leagues that we want, specific teams, and specific players. All right, so let me paste these guys in. Whoops. And then I'm just going to comment them out so Python doesn't get upset with me. Oops. Okay, cool. And then does anybody remember how we run this project?
Manage.py run server.
Correct. So let's do that. Let's say Python. Whoops. I haven't activated my environment yet, so let's do that first. So we'll go source, environments, Django, bin. Oh, yeah, she actually let me know. She's going to be out. Potentially she'll be here this afternoon, though. Okay, so we got our environment activated. Now let's do Python manage.py run server. Okay, that port is already in use. Can I change ports if I run server? I don't know. Yeah, let me just close the other project. Hang on 1 second. Yuck. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So it should be good now. Let's go back there. Sports ORM. Okay. Cool. That server. That looks a little better. No errors. So let's just pull it up. We'll see localhost 8000. So here we go. We've got all of our leagues, all of our teams, and all of our players down here. So let's say I just want to kind of see what the structure is of my database is. What might be a good way of doing that?
Use the application.
That's one way, right? I mean, and that's what we're going to be doing when we're actually displaying this stuff. But another way that I can do is using this thing that we talked about the other day, DB browser for SQLite. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up, and I already have it open, but just to show you guys, in Sports ORM, I've got this db.sqlite3 file that I can open up. And that's going to be my database. So if I go to database structure, you can see we've got some different things. We've got leagues underscore league, leagues play underscore player, and then leagues underscore team. And then we've got some kind of a relationship going on here, right? Leagues, player, all teams. So let's let's take a quick look at the models here, because you guys are going to need to get comfortable with these models as well. And just kind of ask ourselves, what sorts of relationships exist in this? Any ideas what kinds of relationships we have? Yeah, so if something has a foreign key, what does that mean? Okay.
That's a one-to-many.
Which one?
The league equals to models of foreign key and then teams.
Okay. We're talking about this one, right, on line 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so what this means is that we're referencing the league. So this team belongs to the league, and then the related name, what this means is that on my league objects, I'm going to have another sort of hidden field called teams. So if let's say I'm looking at a specific league and I want to see all the teams that belong to that league, I can just say .teams and then .all to give me all the teams that belong to that specific league. Okay, so that's one relationship. We also have some other down here inside player, right? What kind of relationship are we looking at for line 17? Yeah, okay. So how does this work? So each player...
There's a trick. If the variable name is not plural and the related name is plural, that means it's one-to-many. If the variable name is plural and the related name is also plural, it's many.
Mm-hmm. Good. Very good. So here, each player belongs to a team, right, in this case, and then the related name is going to be current player. So if I wanted to see, if I had a particular team pulled up and I wanted to see what all the players were, how would I get that? Yeah, we'd say .cur player, .cur underscore players, and then we would do .all. That would tell me all the players that belong to that specific team. So why are we saying current players anyway? Any idea?
Self-tuning.
Current player for the current team, like
Because there could be trades.
Mm-hmm.
We could have players that are moving between teams. So the cur players means what is the current roster of this team. All right. Now down here we have another relationship, this many to many, all teams and all players. So again, we have a player can belong to multiple teams, and of course a team can have many players or will have many players. All right. So those are the relationships. Let's get to what we're doing here with the actual assignment. So the first thing that we're trying to find out is all baseball leagues. And if I go back to my browser here, let's look at leagues real quick. So we'll just go browse table, and that's what the leagues look like. So I have a sport name right in here, and the sport that we're looking for is baseball, right? So I should actually have how many baseball leagues? 2. These 2. This international one and the Atlantic Federation, so you can open this up to see the whole name. So let's work on getting that. So here inside of our code, we're getting all the leagues, but actually we want to filter. Okay? You guys remember what filter is going to return?
A list.
A list, correct. Okay? And we want to say is it sport name? Okay, so it's just sport. We want to say the sport equals baseball. Okay? Sport equals baseball. Okay, and that should restart for us. So if I refresh this guy here, now we've just got those 2 leagues as we were looking for. All right? No, see, because I haven't changed anything about the teams here. I'm only doing the leagues. All right? So let's keep going. All women's leagues. So this one's kind of interesting. Let's see. Do we have any actual sports called women's whatever? Can you guys see?
I see the
Field hockey.
I see the football.
football.
See football.
Okay, so So yeah, we have a couple of leagues that actually have women's in their name. So we have 6, this one right here, and then we also have the ID of 9, which is Trans-American Women's Football Athletics Conference. Okay, so that's it. So we should just be able to get those two. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to do another filter, only this time we don't know the exact team name. We just know, or I'm sorry, the league name. We just know that it's going to contain women's, right? So we have this nice little thing, and this should be linked actually in the spreadsheet. But Django has all of these built-in methods. And let me pull up contains. So here we can say that if something contains that string, then our filter will return that particular item. All right. So back here, we're saying, huh? Say that again.
Oh, I was saying content women.
Yeah, exactly. So here we're just looking at the name, and we're going to say the name double under, which means we're using this special thing that Django gives us, contains, and then we're going to say women's. Okay.
Does the apostrophe matter?
Have
Maybe
the
just one
uppercase.
All right, so let's do it. All right, so there we go. So you bring up an interesting point about the uppercase. When we use contains, it's not actually case sensitive. Yeah. However, if I were to say name equals something, it will be case sensitive. Okay. So for instance, if we go back to that other one that we were doing baseball, right? And I said sport. Let's say sport equals baseball, lowercase. Oops. Let's see if we get anything for that. No leagues found. Yeah, so when we say it's equal, it is case sensitive, but if we change to contains, then it's a bit more inclusive and it's not case sensitive. All right. All right, let's keep going. Line 8, all leagues where sport is any type of hockey. So again, it looks like we're gonna use contains because it could be ice hockey, it could be field hockey, and so forth. So let's just say sport under contains hockey. Refresh that guy. All right, there we go. So we have our different hockey leagues, 3 of them. Cool. Any questions so far?
What was the double underline?
Dunder. Yeah, we've seen those a lot, right? So in the init methods, we'll have dunder. Other things like name, name, main, and flask. Dunder. All right. You quoting that AC/DC song? All right. Let's keep going here. So dunder cheap. So line 9. All leagues where sport is something other than football. Okay. So we've got this thing in these methods called exclude. Okay, and what exclude does is it's basically like a reverse filter. So rather than getting the things that do meet the criteria, we're getting the things that do not. Okay, so let's exclude a sport of type football. And we'll do contains again. So we'll say filter, and we'll say exclude sport contains football.
Or it's just gonna.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any sport that contains the word football in its, or any league that has football in its sport will be excluded. Okay. Let's go back over here. All right, so again, we got ice hockey, baseball, baseball. So we're excluding all football. How many football were there? 2? Yeah, 2, right? So we should have 8 on there. Is that right? 8? Good. All right. Any questions there on what exclude does? No? Okay. Next, all leagues that call themselves conferences. Okay, so let's be careful. When I first did this, I was looking for conferences, but notice it's just singular conference. Yeah, if you do conferences, you won't pull anything up. So let's do the name contains conference. Oops. Wait, I had it on exclude. You guys didn't catch me. All right, yeah, let's fix that. Sometimes. It was a test. All right. So here we go. So now we have all the leagues that have the word conference in their names. So we're good. Cool. Let's keep going. All leagues in the Atlantic region. So what do we have here? So it's just going to say Atlantic in the name is all we're looking for here. So let's do that. Name contains Atlantic. Knock this out again. All right. All 4 Atlantics. We're good. Yeah, well, really the point of this assignment though is to show you how you can get specific types of data, yeah, using these little special methods they give us.
They did that for teams.
Yeah, it's definitely not an example of a fantastic database. This is just to kind of show you how to pull the data. All right, so let's do all teams based in Dallas. So let's change what we're looking at here. So let's go to teams, leagues team. And if we browse the table, we have a location field here. And we could use Dallas on that guy. All right, so let's come down here. Instead of team.objects.all, let's filter based on location. And we'll just say location equals Dallas.
Would you have to clear the thing for leagues though, or are you gonna have?
Totally different. Yeah, exactly. So league is one query here, and then team is another one.
But you'll still have the query for leagues going on.
This is just going to stay as it is. Yeah, I could change it back to leagues.all or whatever, but I'm not going to fiddle with it. So let's just. So here, if we filter the teams as we wanted to, we're just getting the 2 Dallas-based teams, the Nets and the Angels. Okay. All right. Next, all teams named the Raptors. What was I saying? Rappers. Okay, so let's just say name contains. Yeah, Dunder.
Welcome to the Dunderdome.
Dunderdome, I like that. Django and the Dunderdome. All right. Whoa. Whoa. Hey now.
Whoa.
Hey now.
What did you do?
All right. Yeah. So
Prank, guys.
so here, notice how this is actually called team name, not name. So I've got some egg on my face here. Sorry about that. Team name. All right. There we go. All right, so we have 2 teams that have the name or that have the word Raptors in them. I could have done it also
Yeah, no, just
Golden State Raptors. I could have just done huh? Velociraptors. Okay, so this should work too. If the team name equals Raptors, I'll still get those same 2 teams. Because this part, the Atlanta and the Golden State, that's just their location. It was kind of tacked to the front of it. All right, let's keep moving. All teams whose location includes city. All right, so how do we do this? Okay. Location Dunder contains city. All right. So there we go. Mexico City Cave Spiders. Oh, that's a hell of a. It's a hell of a team name right there. Kansas.
Verify.
Who comes up with this stuff anyway?
You guys spell
single
It's
city.
fun.
Yeah, that's pretty
Single
epic
city
right there.
is like,
It's a terrifying name.
Bro, yeah, can you imagine? Tarantula.
All right.
My nickname is Tarantula.
Yeah, tarantula. So let's get back to line 17. We want to get all teams ordered by team name in reverse alphabetical order. Okay.
Wouldn't that be
See,
the
that
same, just
makes sense.
descending? Or?
Why are we skipping 15 and 16?
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, whoa. Sorry about that. Never mind. Okay, so we have another one which is starts with. It's like we've been using contains, right? We also have starts with if we want to find a starting letter. So let's do number 15.
Does it just work for a letter?
No, you could do more than one letter.
Like
Yeah.
Saint.
Saint. Yeah, and let's try it in a second. So we'll say team name and then starts with. I think there's a dunder in between there, but I'm actually not sure. Double dunder. Starts with. Oh, actually no, there's nothing in between. So it's just starts with all together. The dunder is just for connecting the actual field name to the specific method to starts with. So we want to say starts with and then a capital T. Let's try that.
So in this case, the capitalization does matter.
It should, yeah, and we'll change it in a second. But here you can see we got the Alberta Texans, Timberwolves, Tiger Cats, Twins. Okay, so let's try with a lowercase t.
How terrifying. Twins.
Yeah, I know, pretty scary, right? Oh, capitalization does not matter. Question answered.
Colorado
All right.
Twins.
I have a question. Why? So I know like the team name starts with T, but like is the team name including the location at the start of it?
Say that again.
So like when if you switch back to the other view, the browser.
Mhm.
So you see how it's like Alberta, Michigan.
Mhm.
Like those don't start with T. But
No,
like,
so what's happening here is, and we'll look inside the actual template, it's the city that has been put in front of the team name.
So then what is it? What are you getting back?
The two tables are joined, they're displaying the city and then the team.
View is composite.
They're not the same column.
Yes, if we go in, whoops. So if we go inside templates here, let's see what's happening. So yeah, we've got the location coming first and then the actual team name
Yeah, I was just
second.
curious, see why
Yeah, why was that happening? I understand. I asked that myself when I first did it. Okay, so so we did 15. Let's now do the ordered alphabetically by location. So team.objects, and then we could do dot sort, and then we should be able to do so if we do a negative, that should give us a negative alphabetical in this case. Okay, so let's try that. Uh-oh. Has no... What?
Sort by.
Sort by. Why is it not finding that though in here? Huh. Oh, you know what? It's order by, I think is what it is. Yeah, order by. There it is, order by. Yeah, sorry about that. So here, if we just change this to order by, let's see if we can get that to work. Okay, so here you can see we've got the locations all running in reverse alphabetical order. Wisconsin all the way back to Alberta. Okay, so that's how we do a sort essentially. Now let's do this. Every player with last name Cooper. So we've gotten down to the players part. So let's say players or player objects, and then we're just going to do a filter. And then last name, I think that's what it is in here, right? So if I go, yeah, that should be right. Browse table. So we got last name, cool. Last name equals Cooper. And let's refresh that. So we got Josh Cooper, Landon Cooper, Michael Alexander. Good. Cool. Next, every player with first name Josh. So this would obviously be easy. Joshua. Change this to Joshua. All right. Cooper, Hayes, Henderson, Long, Coleman, White. Okay, next. Every player with last name Cooper except those with Joshua as the first name. Kind of tricky. How do you guys think we're going to do this?
Chamber method.
Someone's been doing his homework. All right, so so basically what happens is that every time we run a filter, we're actually getting back what's called a query set. All right? And because these query sets have special methods to them, we can chain them together. So with the first query set, we can chain on and filter that even further. All right, so let's filter first. We'll say last name is Cooper, as we did before. Cooper. Okay, and then as Alan said, what we want to do is we want to filter this exclude, correct, first name, whoops, equals Joshua. All right, so let's try that. Okay, so you can see we got all these Coopers, but we did not get Joshua Cooper. However, if I took off this exclude here, we should see Joshua Cooper in the mix. There he is, number one. Yeah. The actual query in the DB? No, because this query set is then just filtering this further. So it gave you a query set result. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's how we do that. Number 21, this is going to be interesting as well. So we want to get all players with first name Alexander or first name Wyatt. How do you guys think we might be able to do that?
Or logic.
Yeah, essentially we're going to do some OR logic, and there are a couple ways to do it. What we can do is we can use this pipe, which means that we're creating a union of these different sets. So we're going to have two different query sets, and then we're going to drop them together. So if I say player.objects.filter, and then the first name equals Wyatt. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I've got Alexander or Wyatt in there. The other way that you can do it is you can bring in this thing called a queue. Oops, queue object. I'm trying to see where this is. Queue objects. Okay, so if we're trying to do more complex queries, we can bring in this right here, and then we'll be able to actually do it in a slightly different syntax. So you can see we'll have queue, question starts with blah, 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 and queue, question starts with what in this case. But let's work this to our advantage in our current situation. So we got to import it first off. Import queue. And then the way that we do it is that we're going to say our filter is going to take these two queue objects. So we'll say queue, first name equals Alexander, and then the second one is just going to be first name equals Wyatt. So the second one would also be a queue object like that. Close it out. And that should give us the exact same results that we were getting before. Or nothing.
Either or, right?
No teams. Why is it saying no teams found?
Because comma means and, right? So we want or.
Yeah, actually, we still need the pipe. My mistake. So if we're doing two Q objects rather than a comma, we need to separate them with a pipe, just like we were doing on the previous one. So here you see we get the exact same result set. All right. That's it. That's sports ORM. Any questions? Let's have some thumbs on this. Oh yeah. Thumbs. Yeah. And thumbs down. Sideways. All the way up. Yeah, I like it. All the way up. Okay, guys.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
And one of the ones I was working on, I think I was just trying to be fancy. The book users one. Yeah, the book users one in Shell. I was trying to see if I could come up with a query where I could say, because I think that's the one we had to change the author of one